welcome to the stream. I'm Ismail Darwish, product manager at Argent, and we're pretty excited today to be announcing our latest product for Starknet, which we call Web Wallet. We think it's a revolutionary way to interact with blockchains, and we can't wait to share it with you. So, as I mentioned, I'm Ismail, product manager at Argent. I've been working on the Web Wallet project for a few months already, and with me is Lancelot, co-founder at Brick, which is one of the first and most important projects in the Starknet ecosystem. I don't know, Lancelot, if you want to add anything.
No, I think you said first and most important, so that covers everything. Yeah, very happy to be here. Introduce this. We've been also sharing feedback on the Web Wallet for a while now, so happy that it comes out officially.
Nice. Awesome. So let's go over the agenda for today. So I'm going to start explaining a bit of what Web Wallet is, why we built it, and what benefits it brings for developers and also for end users. Then we're going to go over a bit of a demo on the onboarding and how users can create a Web Wallet account. Then we're going to see Web Wallet in action with Lancelot, how that works actually on the Brick app. And after that, we're going to go over how to integrate it quickly and some closing remarks. And to finish off, we'll just do a bit of a Q&A. So, all right, let's start with what is a wallet. I think we need to take a step back and reconsider what a wallet is, because some of us that have been in the space for some time already, we might have some preconceptions of what a wallet has to be. So let's just go back to basics for a little bit. A wallet is really a client software to manage one or more blockchain accounts. That's really the software that the end user interacts with. And the goal of the wallet is to generate and manage the user's keys and securely display information to the users so they know exactly what they're signing with their keys. Also, I mentioned the concept of account, which is an on-chain object that holds the state of a user's identity and assets. And I think it's easy to confuse these two concepts because they're usually bundled together, but it's important to understand that one of them, the account, is the part that lives on-chain, and the wallet really is the one that lives off-chain and the one that the user directly interacts with. So what's the status quo right now on blockchains? The wallet is really a necessary first step in the journey to using blockchain right now. So users, whenever they want to use a dApp that uses blockchain technology, they have to go through a few steps beforehand before they can even do what they intend to do with that dApp. So usually that involves installing or downloading a wallet, and that is a software that can come in different forms, like a browser extension or a mobile app, and then they have to get familiarized with that wallet. In the onboarding process for that wallet, there's usually a step where they need to back up their seed phrase. The seed phrase is really another way to represent their private keys that control their accounts, and saving that, making a backup of that seed phrase can become quite cumbersome for some users. Another necessary step is always to on-ramp with ETH, and that means adding ETH to that account to pay for the network fees or any other thing that the user might want to do with that dApp. So those three steps are usually necessary, and it kind of adds an overhead to any action that the user wants to do with a dApp. So as you can see, the wallet is front and center of the blockchain experience right now. But the reality is that normal users don't really want wallets. So early adopters as us or developers, we don't really want the same things as normal or mainstream users. Developers might want to understand exactly how everything works from a technical perspective, so that they can build their dapps in a more efficient way, or just have or build their flows in a better way. But for end users, they don't really care about all of these complexities. So what end users really want is to access their applications directly. They don't care at all about the technology that underlies everything that these dapps use, and they don't want any complexity. So how do we achieve that? We think our solution is a great first step towards this. We call it Web Wallet, and we call it also the Argent Invisible Wallet for Stack. Yeah, and here's a quick video. So here's how it works. When you go to a dApp, you can see that you can log in with email, you confirm it, and then you're directly connected to that dApp. You can do several stuff with that. And then if you go to another dApp, as you can see here, you can reuse that wallet that you had previously created. And for developers, as you can see here briefly, I guess, it's quite easy to integrate. Yeah, we'll be talking about that a bit more later with Lancelot. Yeah, so we like to think of this as the dream onboarding experience for any Stacknet app. And as I mentioned earlier, that starts with requiring no downloads at all from the user. So they can go to a dApp, connect directly, enter their email, and boom, they have a wallet right there. They can create an account in seconds, as you saw in the video, and I'll show in a bit in the demo. There's no complex concepts, like they don't have to care about the seed phrase or transaction fees or anything like that. We include by default Argent Shield, which allows for a simple account recovery. So in case the user loses their password or they lose access for whatever reason to their account, they will be able to recover access to it. And it also includes our fraud detection system, which alerts the user in case they're about to do something that might be malicious because they're interacting with a contract that's I don't know, that has been flagged by users as malicious or fraudulent, or if they try to do something that they might not want to do for whatever reason. As you're going to see later in the demo as well, everything is one click. Any action that the user wants to commit to the blockchain is pretty easy and frictionless to confirm it. And one important thing is that it's reusable in different dApps. So if you go to Brick and you create your account there for the first time, you don't necessarily need to know that you're creating an Argent account or anything like that. But if you go to another dApp, like Stacknet ID, for example, and you click on Connect, you will see that you can reuse that account that you previously created in Brick. Yeah, I like to think of this as I like to draw comparisons with your Google account, because when you create your Gmail account, you're also creating a Google account for that, but you don't necessarily know that you're creating a Google account. But then when you go to Google Maps or Google Docs or something like that, or all these other services, you find that you can reuse that same account that you created, and it's quite frictionless. And of course, it's completely self-custodial. That's basically the basis of all the wallets that we create. So how it works, a bit of a technical introduction. The keys are generated locally on the user's device, and they live in the web wallet domain, which is web.argent.xyz. And all those files are stored locally. And the way it works, the connection with dapps, is through a secure sandboxed iframe. So the dapps never really have access to the user's private keys or files that might be related to that. Also, an encrypted backup of the key is sent to Argent for retrieval in new devices. So if you go to another browser or to another device and you want to use your account, you can directly connect with your email, we'll retrieve those files and decrypt them locally with your password. And I guess it's pretty obvious, but it doesn't hurt to say that Argent can never access your keys. And that's it for the introduction. I will now do a bit of a demo on how to create a web wallet with Brick. So imagine that you go to Brick, you want to start playing around with it, but you don't have a wallet or you don't know anything about wallets or blockchains. So what you would do is click on Connect. You see this. You enter your email. Now I'm going to check here my code. Create a password. You can use one from a password manager. That's usually recommended, but I'm just going to create one manually here. And from here, you are already connected. That's it. That's how you create an account. And well, Lancelot will showcase a bit more of how the Brick app works. But as you can see, you're already connected. And one interesting thing that they added here is the Web Wallet dashboard button. So if you want to know more about your Web Wallet account, you can go here, which directs you to the Web Wallet domain. And you can see your assets. As you can see, I don't have any. Add funds, you can do that with Ramp or from another StarkNet account. You can also send assets, see your authorized dapps, change the password, and also lock your wallet. What I find really interesting about this is that the user doesn't really need to know that this domain really exists. If they just want to use Brick, they can totally use it without really knowing all the intricacies of how wallets work or the fact that they have different kinds of assets or anything. They just go here and they just keep using it as normal. And that's it from me for a bit of the introduction of how to create a web wallet account with Brick. I'll pass it now to Lancelot so that you can show a bit more of how that works in detail on Brick.
Yep. Thanks, Matt. So, I mean, some of it you might have already seen in Ismail's presentation because it was very complete. But basically, like at Brick, we're very excited about the web wallet for the simple reason that it makes the user flows much simpler. And when we've designed Brick, what we've always wanted to do was make it as easy as possible for the users to mint their own NFTs and to use the website. So usually for us, when you show up on Brick, you land on our landing page. What you're going to want to do is you start building something. So, you plop down some blocks. I'm going to do a smiley face because I tried doing the Argent logo earlier and I cannot do it. It's quite complicated to do a block. So, you create your NFT, you want to mint it, but if you don't have a wallet, you're kind of stuck. And so before the web wallet, you would have to install an extension, or, well, on StarkNet, you can't even really do anything else. that would take a lot of time. It's complicated. It's not something that's super easy for non-technical users. Nowadays, with the web wallet, it's much simpler. Something that even your mom could do that. So I'm already logged on, as you can see. It recognizes my email address. Of course, in my case, it's because I was using it on Brick, but it could have been because you were using it on Stormit ID or another dApp that's integrated with it. I just click on that, put in my password.
Oh, we can't actually see the
Yeah, I
other
think
window, but that's fine.
Yeah, there was a pop-up window where I entered my password. Okay, actually, let me try it again. There. And now I'm logged on. I do need 10 bricks to be able to finish the transaction. Let's do it like that. And I can just go through the motions of actually buying something. So it shows me the transaction screen. So this is where the fraud detection also that Ismail was talking about would come up, though obviously it doesn't for Brick, thankfully. It shows me the details of my actions. So since I'm buying bricks, I have a buy transaction and an assemble transaction. It's a multi-call. You can see I'm on mainnet. I have my address here. So I can just confirm that. And transaction is sent, shows up in my profile. It's still pending because it needs to be confirmed. And I will be able, from my profile to see it, to access it in my dashboard in the future and everything. And as Ismail mentioned, on the Brick website, we put a link to the dashboard here and in the tab here. Because, if you're using if you're using a Gmail account to log on to a website, you also do have this. Well, you also have Gmail. So I think it was kind of natural for users to have another place where they could maybe, manage their account in that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I do think that it's quite interesting to add this as well. This concept that Silk from Brick comes to mind, this progressive wallet disclosure, which basically is how, or a description of how ideally a user would get into crypto. Basically, just at the beginning, maybe only interacting with dApps, and as they want to know more and more about how it actually works, they or they want to use more advanced features, they will keep trying to learn more. So maybe they start using Brick, they see that button one day, they click on it, and then they start realizing that they can do way more with that. But there's no point on requiring all users to just know about how a wallet works from day one. So I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is that you're happy you've minted your Brick NFT, and then if you want to get more into it, you go to your dashboard, you see the different options you have, and then if you want to have a more secure cold wallet, then that's where you get into, okay, I'm going to install an extension, I'm going to buy a hardware wallet, this kind of thing. And for that, like Brick, it makes it much easier to onboard people. And we're not yet crypto punks, so you don't want to put your Brick NFTs in your cold wallets necessarily, but so it makes sense to use.
One day.
Yeah, one day it makes sense to use the web wallet, but it gives the users more options, and it just makes it much easier for the onboarding. And that's one of the really cool things, I think, from a dApp perspective, that this enables us to do.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, or maybe to share with the listeners, what was the experience like to integrate web wallet now that you were at dApp and it was already on mainnet before web wallet existed. So I'm curious, how was that for you? Because we try to make it as easy as possible, but maybe from your perspective, you might have some insight on how that process went.
Yeah, so I didn't mention this, but at Brick, I'm doing all of the the coding, so I did the integration. And actually, the integration of the web wallet for Brick was, I think it was about 5 lines of code to change. I'm using the. Is it still my screen? Yeah. This thing here is it's Get.NET. I think it's maintained also by Argent. I was already using it before, so I just had to tweak things to use the version that supports the web wallet, and it basically worked. Once it worked, because of course we did some testing with Argent on this, and so we ironed out quite a few issues and gave them feedback and everything. But in terms of code, it was very, very simple. And it's very transparent from my perspective. It just works like any other regular wallet. There's not much of a difference.
Nice. Yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning the fact that you guys were, I think, actually the first ones to have access to the alpha versions of web wallet. So yeah, I guess that explains the issues that we might have encountered at the beginning. All right, maybe I can finish off with some stuff. Let me share my screen again. 1 second. Can you see my screen now? Well, I hope so. So for anyone wanting to try web wallet today, as you can see, if you've seen already in the demo, you can go to brick.construction and try it out already. We have also 4 more dapps: unframed, carbonable, StackNet ID, and Avenue, where web wallet works today. And there's more integrations coming up in the next few days. Some more stuff to integrate in your dApp. So if you're a developer, as Lancelot mentioned earlier, it's not too difficult to integrate if you already have a StackNet dApp. But in case you're starting from scratch, we also have guides on our documentation on how to do that, how to get started. Our documentation is under docs.argent.xyz, or you can also scan the QR code here to go directly there. Also, if you have any questions or any problems or any feedback, please reach out to us. My Telegram and my Twitter accounts are written there, so please feel free to reach out at any point. And yeah, I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about it. And that's it. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining us. I think we can go now to the Q&A. So I'm just going to stop sharing now and go here. All right. Any questions that we might want to answer? So guys, if you want to ask any questions, I think you can do so on Twitter or on YouTube. Oh, brilliant thing. Wow, it's amazing. Thanks a lot. Can you remove the special character requirement on the password? I mean, I believe it's a requirement for security, but if we find a better way, I guess we can do that. But for now, honestly, if you're using any kind of service like this, I highly recommend that you use a password manager. That will it's really easy to use, and that's gonna not secure better your web wallet account, but also any other service that you have. So I'd suggest you go for that. Any other questions? All right. Then if there's no other questions, please, again, reach out at any point on Twitter or Telegram, and I'll be happy to answer anything. Oh, how easy is integration with a DApp? I guess Lancelot already mentioned this, but if you go to our documentation under docs.argent.xyz, you'll see that it's quite easy, especially if you're already familiar with the StarkNet ecosystem. Yeah, it's if you use the library get StarkNet, it's literally just a one-line change to get it up and running. There's also some customization parameters, but it should be quite straightforward. But also, if you're using StarkNet React, which is another library quite popular in the ecosystem, we also built a connector for that library so that you can also integrate it quite easily. All right. Anything else? Then maybe we can finish it off here. Well, thanks a lot, Lancelot, for joining today and for showing and also collaborating with us on Web Wallet. It's been quite a ride, but I'm happy that we have it out already and working nicely.
Yeah, it's awesome that it's finally publicly available.
Yes.
Very happy about it. And thanks for the showcase for Brick as well.
Of course. All right. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, we'll talk with you on Twitter or Telegram.